This month from Big Finish, the light has been lit, our heroes are separated, and a mysterious oracle has been revealed. Continuing on from last month's Fifth Doctor Adventures box set, on the 15th of May comes Hooklight 2, which sees Dr. Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric in the realm of mourning, where the mysterious Hooklight that destroys anything it touches has been unleashed. On the recording of this box set, David Richardson said, "When we were developing Hooklight, I knew the only way we were going to get it all recorded was to do it in one massive block over 2 weeks. It's hard enough finding windows of availability when all the leads can get together in a single day, and Hooklight has a prominent guest cast who feature across both box sets. So everyone in the team lived 12 episodes over a very concentrated fortnight, which made Hooklight both a massive mountain to climb and a joyous universe in which we could immerse ourselves. Having now heard it all, I think it feels unlike anything else I've worked on. Tim's voice is unique, and his creations in this are so vivid. Hooklight has been a big and challenging experiment, but one that's hugely rewarding. Hooklight 2 itself is available for £25 on CD and download, and £20 on just download. Or you can bundle it with last month's Hooklight 1 for 47 on CD and 38 on download. But if you are going download only, there's a little trick you can use to save a little bit more money, because Hooklight 1 and 2 together will bring you up to 40 quid. So throw another release or two into your basket to bring it up over 50. A Big Finish will automatically give you a 10% discount, meaning you're saving £4 on it this way rather than just the £2 that the bundle gives you. So there you go. Watch out for that.
Chuck, it's your Auntie Iris. I'm back in Cosmos and Miss Clarke. We have the return of Iris Wildtime in the Cosmos and Miss Clarke with The Story Demon by Julian Richards, The Key to Many Worlds by Paul Mars, Inconsistencies by Ian Potter. Script editor Rob Valentine said, "I'm a huge fan of the Sixth Doctor and Miss Clarke. Colin Baker and Miranda Race work beautifully together, and Constance brings out a very particular side of old Sixie. So the prospect of helping to bring a whole new set of their adventures into the world was extremely enticing. It also meant that I got to work with Julian Richards, Ian Potter, and Paul Mars, three writers I greatly admire, and their stories are terrific. There's a particular unsettling Dalek story, multiple Miss Clarks, and the return of a certain other traveller in time and space, whom the Doctor was not expecting to meet again. All in all, you're in for a cosmically good time, and rather interestingly, this set was recorded back in October 2021. So this one they've been sitting on for a long time. So yeah, going to be very exciting to have the Sixth Doctor reunite with Iris Wildtime after first encountering Iris in the Wormery. So if you're a fan of the Wormery, this one should be on your radar.
From the Fifth Doctor to the Sixth Doctor to the Seventh now in Dark Gallifrey Missy Part 2, as Missy's steampunk adventures lead her on a collision course with the Doctor. She needs to find one. She needs some Doctor, preferably one that lines up with her timeline. But this is Missy. When is it ever going to be simple? She's instead ending up with a previous incarnation of the Doctor, another Scott with an umbrella in this case. It's a duo who have worked together before many moons ago in Michelle Gomez's first Big Finish, where she played a very different character, that being Valhalla. But here she is again, reunited with McCoy, as he now guest stars in one of her releases.
Out on the 28th of May, Torchwood returns after its little break with a first, hot off the press of his appearance in the Robot Revolution. We have Johnny Green and Johnny Green. This is a big event for Torchwood Monthly Adventures, as Tyler Steele makes his debut in the Torchwood Monthly range, written by Joseph Litster in the story called The Boy Who Never Laughed.
Over the last year and a half, Big Finish have been revisiting the Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller by gathering up their series and bundling them together in a download-only collection. And here we see that journey come to an end with the Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller Series 4, with a lovely bit of cover art by Sean Longmore right there, featuring the Eighth Doctor and Lucy, of course, alongside the Dalek Time Controller, the Ice Lord and Ice Warriors, the Monk, Susan, Alex, and more. This release contains 10 different hour-long audio adventures for only £30. Those being Death in Blackpool, Situation Vacant, Nevermore, The Book of Kells, Deimos, The Resurrection of Mars, Relative Dimensions, Prisoner of the Sun, Lucy Miller, and To the Death. Bit of an ominous title, that last one, isn't it? And you also get double Christmas in this one. Two of these episodes are Christmas specials, funnily enough. So what more can you ask for?
Talking about fallen heroes, we have the War Doctor continues to rise in Fallen Heroes. We have a 3-hour epic by Alfie Shaw, who has become one of Big Finish's unexpected great writers of very bleak and challenging stories. And this is a very different Time War story. Alfie Shaw said, when Matt Fitton asked me if I wanted to do a War Doctor box set, I just finished doing a War Against the Dalek box set for the 11th Doctor Chronicles, so I wanted to do something completely different. There are no Daleks and no massive space battles in Fallen Heroes. It's a little backwater town on a backwater planet that's about to be messed up in a greater conflict. The inspiration for this set was stuff like True Detective and Alan Wake 2. Yes, it's a murder to be solved, but the focus is more on how the crime affects those caught up rather than an Agatha Christie style whodunit. I really wanted it to almost not be Doctor Who, and the fact it must become Doctor again is part of what messes things up for everyone. So yeah, we've got Jonathan Carley and Daisy Ashford teaming up, as Daisy Ashford is playing Agent Louisa Tixon. So yeah, very intriguing cover. We can see Bessie's number plate and the unit badge. So yeah, this is going to be something very intriguing.
Yeah, Fallen Heroes certainly has my attention, I must say. I've been loving the War Doctor Rises so far, these 3-hour-long epics, practically audio movies, really, they've been producing here. And one written by Alfie Shaw as well, fresh off the back of the incredible 11th Doctor Adventures, that huge arc. I think there's a lot to be excited for here. It was something very weird, very different. I loved the Alfie Shaw when I've just written a lot for the Daleks. You're giving me War Doctor, I'm going to give you something different. And I think that's what these War Doctor Rises box sets are all about, really. Letting each writer have their own little play around in the sandbox. Yeah, that is the Time War. And Alfie Shaw is certainly taking things to a very different place. And
I think you need that for a Time War story, though, don't you? You need to sort of play around with these things and make it unconventional. It's a space battle. I think you need to play around with the mechanics of what a Time War can be.
Yeah. So I think the first two have very much been action-oriented, while having a lot of heart and a lot of things to say as well. Well, I don't want to detract from them at all, because I think
they're some of the best Big Finish from last year.
Oh, easily. But I think it's a nice change of pace now to go for a more, I don't want to say quiet, because I don't think it will be quiet, but
no,
it's a bit more of a somber story at first, it seems, as we are investigating this mysterious death where the mayor of this town has had his dead body arranged in as the arms of a clock face with a fish around. So yeah, I mean, color me intrigued for
bit of an acrophobia there.
Yeah. What release from this month excites you most, though, Ben?
I mean, War Doctor does excite me, but there is one release that we have started listening to which has sort of consumed us, and that is Hooklight. We are hooked.
Yeah, we are frozen by its light in many ways.
We are. We're waiting for the 15th of May for it to roll around so we can continue and see where it goes, because where it leaves off and those closing moments, you think, this is going to be something quite magical.
Yeah, I mean, part of me wonders, are they gonna do it all in just the 12 parts? I'm sure some people are wondering, 12 parts, is it gonna drag? What padding are they gonna throw in there? I'm looking at this now thinking that I would be more worried about the opposite. I'd be worried it'd feel rushed in the end because there's so much going on.
Hmm.
Despite, a relatively simple premise, I think it really has built this little corner of the Doctor Who universe, its own sandbox in many ways, that is just wonderful to explore more of, a very weird and different mythology of sorts that complements the Doctor Who universe without, you know,
It's a
feeling
nice
losing its
fantasy.
uniqueness. Yeah. Hmm. I mean, also surprisingly excited for Cosmos and Mrs. Clarke.
Yeah, we've had a weird relationship with the Sixth Doctor over recent years. I think ever since
Hmm.
sort of the relaunch, we've sort of been a bit hit and miss with Colin, but this
Hmm.
seems like it's back to basics. We haven't got this arc going on. We're not celebrating 40 years. This is back to basic Colin. And yeah, we are a huge fan of the Doctor meeting Iris Wartime. We love Me as a Fire. And I think Paul Mars is a genius writer. So I'm
Hmm.
excited to see Colin mind swap with Iris and get Colin mimicking, good old Auntie Iris.
Yeah. I also like that we seem to be getting a very different Dalek story here, with like a Dalek
Yes.
telling stories around a campfire to children. That feels wild.
And the
So
fact that we've got like an 80s Dalek makes me feel things. Era authentic Daleks have that
yeah.
effect on me on a Big
With the
Finish
era
cover.
authentic mutant crawling out from the
Yes.
top there as well.
Yeah, it's
Love it.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Nice. And Ian Potter writing the final story as well, with Constance there,
Hmm.
uh, which, you know, the story itself, it probably excites me the least, but
Yeah.
knowing it's by Ian Potter, that's rather exciting because he's a pretty special writer, I feel. He's one who doesn't come around that often. It's not a name you hear too much with Big Finish.
It's normally the early
But
adventures he normally was sort of the
yeah, and
go-to.
Companion Chronicles. And I think there he wrote some very special stuff. So yeah, the whole box set has my attention. Uh, Terry Malloy as Marco Polo as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice to have Marco Polo back.
yeah, all rather neat there. Have you listened to Dark Gallifrey Missy Part 1 yet?
I have not. I have
No.
not.
To my shame, I have not either. So it's sort of hard to say how we're
Our
feeling
feeling.
about that, whether or not we're going to be too hyped for Missy Part 2. But certainly, I think McCoy makes it exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to have the two Scots back together after Valhalla. Like it feels like a nice sort of celebration of early Big Finish with Iris and Sixie from the Wormry, and then we've got this sort of Valhalla callback. So yeah, it feels like we're and even the cover for Constance and well Cosmos as Miss Clarke feels like a very monthly range cover in a way.
Yeah, I think that was probably the first thing I said to you when I saw this was announced, is that it's giving me classic monthly range vibes.
Yeah,
It's almost a monthly range trilogy in a way, just with two parters rather than four parters.
yeah,
Yeah, or it's a bit like a double bill and a half.
yeah. That is it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, there's something that is getting my hopes up for that one. So hopefully,
it
we're
delivers.
not let down again because we've been in this place before with the Six
Yeah,
Doctor Adventures. We won't
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
Uh, but eventually, it's got to turn
It's
up.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Broken clock's wrong twice, right twice a day, wrong a lot more times than that a day.
All right, Tegan.
Uh, but yeah,
Torchwood.
I mean, yeah,
How are you feeling about
I like Johnny Green's character Tyler Steele, but I don't know if I'll go out of my way to get this one.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how about you?
I mean, I started listening to the Torchwood continuation stuff. Have not finished that. Enjoyed Tyler in that, but yeah, like you, I'm not inclined to pick it up because
Hmm.
there's a lot of other exciting things this month for me.
Yeah, that's it really with these tortured ones. We dip in and out. I did pick up Rictus the other day,
Oh, nice.
March's release there that ties into Zygon Century. So yeah, we'll see if that purchase pans out at all. But, and then finally, Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller. Now that this is wrapping up, makes me wonder what collection could be in store for next.
Yeah.
As I do these download only ones. Like, I think we both said to each other about the idea of doing a Robert Shearman collection, gathering together a couple of his different audios and putting them under one roof. Or maybe to go Eighth Doctor and Charlie and start collecting.
Yeah, maybe do like Sixth Doctor and Evelyn, like little arcs like that, like black and white TARDIS. I think that would be quite neat. Just like the core essentials for arcs and stuff like that. I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah, I think particularly collecting monthly range arcs together would be neat because, oftentimes when people look at the monthly range, it is a bit impervious to new listeners, particularly when you don't necessarily know where all these arcs are.
And they're spread out so much.
Exactly. Yeah, some over many years. So getting them collected where you can easily see, okay, this is where it starts, this is where it ends. Yeah, would make sense for Big Finish.
I think it would benefit, to be honest. And I think it will benefit even long-term listeners going, oh, great. So I know what I need to listen to if I want to revisit these stories. Like that, it'd be a nice little handy guide, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll certainly make a bit more sense than these ones have. Not that I'm against them at all, because it's nice getting this cover art. It's nice having more than one place. But at the same time, you could already get a bundle of the Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller Series 4.
Yeah,
this doesn't exactly open anything up particularly. It does make it a bit cheaper. So there is always that, and it's like I said, wonderful getting that new cover art. Wonderful having it brought to the forefront again by this release. But at the same time, it doesn't change too much.
I mean, I could see them possibly doing it for Benny.
Yeah,
with her individual stuff.
Yeah, I think there's definitely options out there, and it feels like this is something that Big Finish are going to continue to do. They've done it for Dalek Empire, they did it for Unit, Sarah Jane Smith.
Have they done it for Gallifrey?
I don't know, they haven't actually.
Gallifrey could be an option.
Yeah, that makes sense, to be fair. Those first 3 series, get them all in one place. Yeah. So that is this month from Big Finish, May 2025. We are a third of the way through this year already.
Yeah, I've started working on top 5 release of the year so far.
Yeah, there's certainly some standouts that make their way in there. You'll be finding out all about that in, start of July, end of June.
Yeah.
We'll be revealing those. We'll see if anything from this month ends up on there, if it knocks anything we've got on there so far.
There's some good options there, but it could be.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than 5 releases coming up over the next 2 months, so you never know. Our whole list might completely change. We shall see. But until then, take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.